Hello, 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 howdy, howdy, how are we doing, how are we feeling, everybody out there in here, wherever you might be. Welcome back to the show. Got Jimmy Moreland here for you with Veteran Audio. We're going to do some more streaming. We had some fun yesterday. A lot of folks dropped by, so I hope some more folks drop by because that was a whole lot of fun chatting with people. I'm Jimmy Moreland with Veteran Audio. I'm an audiobook narrator, a voiceover actor, and a music producer. And today we're going to do like we tend to do here on the stream. We're going to do some real-life audiobook narration a little bit later. But first, we're going to take a look and try to do some voiceover auditions for mostly commercial type stuff. But we'll take the work as it comes. We're going to be on the big, what we call the pay-to-play websites. Pro Tools crashed right before I started stream, so I'm going to double check and make sure that we're still good there. But I think we're good. So here's what we're going to be seeing today. We've got Pro Tools right here, and then we've got the big old websites here. Voices.com, voice123.com, and then we'll take a look at ACX and see if there's anything worth chatting about there. We did some chatting about all this stuff yesterday, but we're feeling good. We're feeling consistent. We're gonna get to work here. Real quick update here for folks who haven't been here in a while. I have sorted out my chat monitoring setup, so I should be able to monitor both YouTube and Twitch chat for the duration of the stream. Used to have to do some juggling, but now I shouldn't have to do that. So we should be able to work the entire stream here as we go. Let me turn that thing on. I've also I did a little bit of reviewing to try to make sure that the stream sounds as good as possible. So I tried to bump up my volume just a little bit here, but I think that the stream is just gonna have to be a little bit quiet because of how much moving I have to do around away from my mic. I kind of don't want to set up like a secondary, just stream chatting mic. I think just having the one mic is a good way to go. So you know what? Maybe I can bump up a compressor on here. Actually, let me try to do that right now. Filters, they call it filters here. I've got a compressor here. You know what? There's no way to see how hard it's working, but we're gonna bump up the output by 4 dB, and we're gonna drop the threshold right now as I'm talking. Let's see here. When I get close, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That seems to be peaking at around -15, so we're going to drop this out threshold down to there. I think all of that. Maybe this works. Maybe this sounds better. If I sound absolutely terrible, let me know. Actually, that does look like it's damn near peaking. We're going to bring that back down. If it sounds terrible, let me know. I'll review the stream later, and we'll see if there's any ongoing issues. But we'll find that out later. Cool. Okay, so first things first, we're going to take a look at voices.com. Let's go ahead and refresh this page. Let's go ahead and get to our setup there. Look at that. Very nice. Shout out Bar Raider for making such an amazing arrangement tool. Here we go. Check one. Cool. We're working good here. Fast casual chicken restaurant internal announcer video. Now, I'm only an 80% voice match on here. And that's a bummer. I had done a whole lot of groundwork when I first got set up on voices.com to make sure that anything that I thought I was going to be a good match for, I made sure I was going to be a 100% match. Problem is that Voices, in their defense, they're trying to adapt and improve the service, and that means they're adding new categories and things, but that means everyone who hasn't taken the time to update their demos and retag things, they get left behind in the algorithm. So I need to do this sometime very soon because internal videos, it's very much in my wheelhouse. That's my bread and butter. But I'm getting a low voice match percentage just because that's how the voices.com algorithm works. Let's take a look here. Okay. Actually, I won't be doing this one because they're doing sort of a sports type thing, and just in my experience to date, I don't get hired for sports stuff. I don't get hired for sports stuff, and I don't get hired for like college and university stuff. I think for the college and university thing, I sound too old. And for the sports stuff, like maybe it just comes through that I'm not a sports guy. And so I just tend not to get hired for that stuff. So we are going to we're going to skip this one. In fact, we will probably be skipping all of these, but let's take a look here. English voice for Al-Bawani. I have a feeling I'm not going to be auditioning for this one, but let's take a look. Okay. Whoa. There's a lot of... we're going to take a look at this. That's a lot of notes for something that's excellence is the foundation of everything we do. Built for consistent responsibility. Al-Bawani. Oh, okay. That's a brand. I thought maybe this was like a character or something like that. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to read this. There's not a lot of stuff that I guess there are quite a few things that I'll say no to, especially. Oh, Jesus Christ. This budget. Jesus. I'll just like Al-Bawani market cap. $2.4 billion in ongoing projects. And their budget is $100. Like, I know that y'all are used to basically having slave labor over there in Saudi Arabia, but if you're wanting to like halo effect, excuse the term, whitewash your get under that sort of national cloud and get an American voice to like, ooh, here's this great company. Sorry, like I know it's like bad form to like denigrate like a potential client, but like, nah, man, fuck out of here. Moving on here, job for David Kaplan. Okay, so this is meant for somebody else. Someone else has already reported this. Job intended for another talent. This happens all the time. Voice is not batting very well today. But yeah, this is clearly meant for someone else. Someone has already reported it. We can just archive that and move on. Cool. That's the entire queue on voices.com. I haven't done a single audition yet. Welcome to the show, everybody. Over here on Voice 123, we're clearing out stuff that is overly crowded. That has too many. That has too many. That has too many. Let's take a look and see if this is a sermon bumper. Nope, that's not me. So we're clearing that out. All right. So I am a liar in my title. We're doing no voiceover auditions today, unless more roll in, which they do tend to, especially as we get later in the stream. Let's take a look at ACX here. We've got a few new ones. Did it like forget my filters? Or no, my filters are all still here. We've got a whole lot of new things here. 1, 2, 3, 4 new titles today on ACX. We're eating good, folks. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be auditioning for any of these because, as I've said, I am chock full of audiobook work right now. So I've got no need to try to get any more work because I wouldn't know where to put it on my calendar. That said, we will just go ahead and take a look at this and sort of talk about why or why not we might do some of these projects. First of all, this right here, project length, 0.6 hours. You don't want this in your portfolio. I started to talk about this yesterday, but it's important to sort of like flesh out why you don't want stuff like this in your portfolio. And that is, in this industry, you know, for a lot of people, like the dream is to get a deal with a publisher. Like once you get with a publisher, you know, Blackstone or Penguin, Random House, or Simon & Schuster, or Podium, or any of these publishers, all your problems will go away, and like life is great, and you're going to be rolling in the money. And like maybe that is a career path that works for some people. I have found that being purely indie and just working, keeping my head down and working through these contacts that I've developed through ACX has worked for me. For you, you know, maybe it's worth pursuing the publisher route. And if that is what you're wanting to do, generally speaking, in this industry, The number changes constantly, but somewhere between 25 and 40 audiobook titles under your belt, that's about the time where you can start approaching publishers. They don't want someone who's completely green and has only done a couple of audiobooks. They want to see that you've got a track record, that you've got a portfolio, that you've done a variety of different projects, of different genres, of different lengths. Consistently, they want to see that you've got like return business from authors, people who weren't so turned off by your ability to deliver on time, your ability to deliver good quality audio, all of that stuff. If you've got a ton of good repeat work from a variety of authors, those are all green flags for publishers. But if you come to a publisher, you do like a meet and greet, maybe go to one of the events, the live events that happen throughout the year, whether it's PANA or APA, one of these events. And if one of those face-to-face networking things or in an email reach out or something like that, you go like, hey, my name's so-and-so, I'm a narrator, I would really love to work with your publishing house. I've done 40 books. The person's going to go like, oh, cool, this person's done 40 books. They're serious. Later, if they follow up and they look through your portfolio, they just search for you on Audible, or maybe they go to your website or whatever. If they look through your portfolio and they see 40 books that are 0.6 hours, they are going to feel that you misrepresented your portfolio. This is not a book. This is not an audiobook. This is a brochure. It's a pamphlet. It's a it's not an audiobook. I kind of feel like this stuff doesn't belong on ACX at all. Like it doesn't belong on Audible. Like take this stuff to like some weird like, I don't know, a podcast platform or something. That's really what this thing is. But anyway, one thing to note, because it is important for if you want to do something like this under a pseudonym, you just want to get that cash, baby, go for it. Do it under a pseudonym. Or if you're doing children's books, that's a totally different, like obviously those are going to be a lot shorter. And hey, what's the threshold? What do you consider not a real book? Basically, if it's under 3 hours, you probably don't want that front and center in your portfolio. The shortest book, my very, very first book I ever did was 2 hours. And hey, it was a good learning experience. And that's actually not a bad project length to sort of get your feet wet, figure out if this is actually something you want to do. But that's all to say. Important thing, if you are going to do this under a pseudonym, or if this is a children's book or something like that, an important thing to note, do not let anyone tell you otherwise on this. I do think ACX does this by default, but even if you're off platform, wherever you are, the minimum that you should get paid is for one finished hour. If this thing comes out to 0.6 hours, which if it's 6,000 words, that's about right. If it comes out to 0.6 hours, so call it 35 minutes. If it's 35 minutes, doesn't matter. You're getting paid for one full finished hour worth of work. No negotiation. That's it. That's the minimum. Whatever rate that you've agreed on, you're getting at like anything over that, you round to the nearest minute. ACX does that automatically. I don't know if ACX automatically rounds up to the first hour. I don't know if that's the case. But if you do want to pursue a job like this, make sure they know that if they book you at $200 per finished hour, they're not going to get out of this paying you $120. The minimum at that rate is $200. Just throwing that out there. So, okay. So that is a project that I would skip just based on the length. The content would also probably make me skip. Here's another thing I would skip. And this is very important. Now, if you happened to stop by the stream yesterday, you may have caught some of the narration that I did. And during that narration, audiobook narration is it's a wild animal in that it's sort of the last remaining place where it's like culturally and professionally appropriate to do voices, like accents that are sort of like, that would otherwise be considered gauche or politically incorrect, culturally insensitive, or what have you. But an audiobook, by its nature, it's one person narrating potentially dozens and dozens of characters. And so it's impossible to make the perfect casting, to where the one person is like the perfect multicultural child of the world, that it's not, in bad taste to narrate any of this number of potential characters. And so audiobook narration really is the one kind of place where actors' talent are sort of that the grace is afforded, that so long as you approach it with respect and with a degree of professionalism, that grace is afforded. Now, you still have to use common sense, and sort of the basis by which people sort of judge, is a casting appropriate, or do you need to make a culturally informed casting, is whose story are you telling? What is whether it's the main protagonist, whether it's the voice of the author, you need to just have some common sense. So for example, open image, a new tab. This book. I am obviously not the right talent to narrate this book. This author certainly is they actually didn't, for accent, there actually is a drop down for American, African American vernacular English, but maybe this person doesn't speak with that accent, with that dialect. Maybe they do speak with a general American dialect. But however, you should be able to look at this cover and understand, just make a common sense judgment call that I, for example, am not a good fit for reading this. And if that makes you really sad or mad, then this probably isn't the right career field for you to begin with. Let's take a look at this. This one is under 3 hours. It says 0 hours. It's 300 words. This isn't a real project. This doesn't belong here at all, unless they just entered it wrong. It says it's their debut novel, so they had to have just entered in wrong. You can, very helpful, you can view this title on Amazon, and they'll have more information here. Length, 302 pages. So they just entered it. They entered the thing in wrong. So bummer that they did that, because that has made their project length just skewed and wrong. Obviously, when you get down into it and produce the project, it'll spit out the calculated payment based on the actual finished length of the project. So you can ignore that. They probably just missed 2 zeros on here, at least, is what I would guess. Cover looks really cool. It looks like a very cool modern project. There's lots of detail here. This looks like a totally good, fine project for just about anybody. I do get, let's see, are they wanting a duet? I'm not sure if this is a duet or not. I guess we'll go ahead and look. Notes from the rights holder: multiple distinct characters, including male and female Indian accents. I'm curious if these are Native American Indian or South Asian Indian. The book also includes characters occupying others' bodies, and is important that the voice remains the same with some inflection changes. Sure. Let's take a look at this. So obviously this word count here is wrong because the audition is more than that many words. In fact, this audition is way too long. It is interesting to note male script, female script. So they do want duet narration. Again, you got to be aware and cognizant of the labor that you're taking on if you're going to produce a duet narration. And ideally, like these rights holders, they're hoping that you're coming to them with the problem solved. They're hoping that you come to them with a partner, and either you submit your audition together as one MP3 with both reads on there, or you go like, hey, this is my MP3 read. My narrating partner is named so-and-so, and you'll be seeing their MP3 in the next hour, or whatever it is. Coordinate with your narrating partner and have that kind of strategy as you go in, and you'll see more success in your bookings. Let's see here. But the good thing about when they do send you scripts that they're downloadable in a doc format is that you can come in here and you can change the formatting. Oh boy, why is the whole thing in italics? I don't know. And what else would I do? I would go Calibri, please. the woke font. And then, you might change it to font size 14. I would probably, these margins here are insane. But that actually looks like it's, yeah, those are actual line breaks. That is wild. That must be an artifact of how they exported it from whatever their word processor is, because that is a wild margin behavior. There's no margin marker here. In fact, as I bring this in, wow, that is crazy behavior. Wow. But yeah, all that said, this looks like a, what did I just close? That's annoying. This looks like a fine project. Discard those changes. We're going to reopen all of our, there we go. This looks like a fine project. And then the other one is this one, Beating for You. She put the body in the nobody that I was. Bars, I guess. Looking for duet narration. A lot of duet narration coming up on ACX right now. Maybe that's the trend. I do know for romance it's super common. The duet narration that I have produced and the two that are in my queue are not romance at all. They're sort of like thriller, gritty type things. So maybe this is, just a common thing that's coming. So, if you're looking to get into this, this is famously sort of an introvert-friendly industry. We sit in our dark booths and read to ourselves. That said, it seems like, just what I'm seeing, just anecdotally here, just on a couple of days of closely checking ACX, it does seem that like duet narration, like there's an opportunity there. So especially if you're just getting started, break out of your shell a little bit, get active, whether it's on ACX, not ACX, the Facebook groups, be active. There are various Discords where you can probably run into some people who are in a similar spot as you, and do your best to try to get some of this work. This could be fun. That said, I ain't gonna audition for any of this stuff. It is cool to see that there are 4 new projects here today. Three of them absolutely worth doing if you are in the appropriate situation to do them. And then one of them skip because it's too short. It's not a real project. Or do it with a pseudonym and just get that money. This is the kind of thing that, like, yeah, I could totally produce this in one day. If I book them at $250 per finished hour, I'm going to get that minimum 1 hour of pay. So how many words is this? 6,000? I mean, I could produce this. I could produce this in a couple hours to count proofing, pickups, final export, delivery to ACX. Like, I could get this done before I go to bed tonight, Now, do I want to do that? No, because there's also some content stuff that I'm not really interested in. But yeah, I would highly recommend using a pseudonym for a project like that if you're going to go ahead and try to do that. But yeah, moving on. That's ACX. So no auditions today. Big bummer, but it is Sunday. That's how it goes. Obviously, we'll see late night Sunday. You see a big crop of European client stuff hit the pay-to-play websites. And then, obviously, as you roll into the full day on Monday, that's when you're going to start to see USS Crusader. That's when you're going to start to see the real regular jobs start to roll in. So we're opening up our audiobook project because we're going to narrate. We're going back into USS Crusader, book 15 or so of the USS Hamilton series, following the exploits of Captain Galvin Quintos of the U.S. Space Navy as he has just made landfall on the strange new planet of Topiaris, accompanied by a shipload of rich, spoiled, pompous asses. So that'll be a lot of fun to narrate, and we're going to jump right into it, basically. I don't see any reason to do a lot of preamble. This first chapter that we're going to narrate, we are rejoining Captain Quintos on the ground on the planet. We are picking up right where we left off yesterday. If you were paying attention to the stream yesterday, I have a feeling we will get to some narrating of the activities going on back on Earth before the stream is over here. I want to read at least these 2 chapters. It would be awesome if I could read these 4, but we'll see how my voice holds up. It's feeling pretty dry and dusty. You know what I'm saying? So let's make that go full. Let's bring this up full. And come back here. You, track height full. Here we go. All right. Cool. Feeling good. And yeah. Once again, if you didn't check out yesterday, if you're following along, there should be no serious content warning type stuff. PG-13 language, there may be an F-bomb here or there, but generally speaking, nothing too graphic, nothing too traumatic, really. Just some sort of your general, mass market sci-fi type material here. It's fun. We're going to have a good time. And we're going to get started here. Here we go. Chapter 13. Morning came with scarlet light flooding through the window. First thing I did, tried Pristy's message again. Downloading, 12%. Error, network congestion. Come on. Tried again. This time got a partial breakthrough. Garbled audio cutting through static. Galvin, static. Attacked, static. Sonia, static. Need... My chest tightened. Attacked? Sonia? Need help? I tried twice more. Both failed. The network was completely saturated. I needed to clear my head. Found myself by the rooftop pool, built into the former coolant reservoir, decorated with tiles in geometric patterns of copper and green. Steam vented from metal fixtures around the perimeter. Geometric patterns of copper and green. Steam vented from metal fixtures around the perimeter, creating atmospheric mist that caught the morning light. Everything glowed that reddish gold. I sat on a lounge chair and tried the message one more time. Failed. Movement in the pool caught my attention. Aubrey doing laps. Olympic-level form. Powerful strokes, cutting through the water with barely a splash. She emerged at the pool's edge. Water streaming off her athletic build. One-piece shoe. Water streaming off her athletic. One annoying thing about Captain Galvin Quintos is he's always ogling all the ladies. Calm down. Water streaming off her athletic build. One-piece suit that was practical but left little to the imagination. Red sunlight backlit her. Blah, 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 blah. Practical but left little to the imagination. Red sunlight backlit her as she walked over, hair slicked back, confident. She sat on the lounge chair next to mine, close enough so that I could... She sat on the lounge chair next to mine, close enough so that I could smell chlorine and something floral underneath. You look stressed. Can't reach Pristy. I know. She leaned closer. We've got 3 days. 3 days planetside before we're back on that ship. Back to playing your military role. Hour. 3 days planetside before we're back on that ship. Back to playing our military roles. A cool breeze swept across the deck, rippling the water and stirring the umbrellas. She shivered slightly, goosebumps rising on her skin. I looked down to see her hand casually resting on my forearm. Her touch was warm, and if I was being 100% honest with myself, not totally unwelcome. Aubrey, she kissed me. Not asking, full commitment, her hand in my hair, body pressed close. For 3 seconds, I froze. Human, attracted, tempted. This was not... Attracted, tempted. This was not the first time she had done this. A part of me had expected it. I pushed her away. Come on. A part of me had expected it. I pushed her away, gentle but firm. Damn it, Aubrey. Do you always need to be such a trouble... Pushed her away, gentle but firm. Damn it, Aubrey. Do you always need to be such a troublemaker? She smiled with the kind of enticing look that could have stopped time in any other situation. She didn't apologize. Oh, come on. You felt it too. Doesn't matter. I'm spoken for. To someone who chose to stay on a ranch, would rather be milking cows and shoveling horse shit than being here with you. Stop. Long pause. She nodded, stood. Okay, but Galvin, life's short. Don't forget that. She dove back into the pool. I tore my eyes away from her sleek body cutting through the water. Well handled, Viv's voice behind me. How long had she been standing? Viv's voice behind me. How long had she been... Viv's voice behind me. How long had she been standing there? Not a word. Wasn't going to say anything, except you did the right thing. Wasn't going to say anything, except you did the right thing, she said. Get through to Pristy? Fragments, something about an attack, Sonia, then nothing. They're probably fine. The ranch is isolated, safe. I wanted to believe that. Dorota appeared, tablet glowing, eyes red from no sleep. Did you sleep? I tried sleeping. Eyes red from no sleep. Did you sleep? I tried sleeping. Couldn't. Dorota thrust. Come on. I tried sleeping. Couldn't. Dorota thrust the tablet forward. The seismic patterns accelerated overnight. Galvin, look at this. He showed me graphs, the projective modeling. The frequency has doubled. Events every 20 to 25 minutes now. When we arrived, it was 47. That's not random variation, Galvin. It's systematic acceleration. And if the pattern holds... He pulled up predictive models. By tomorrow afternoon, we could be seeing events every 10 minutes. Zone 7 was just... We could be seeing events every 10 minutes. Zone 7 was just the most unstable area. We could be seeing events every 10 minutes. Zone 7 was just the most unstable area. The whole planet is moving toward critical instability. What can we do about it? I don't know, but it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. ... Day 2. ... Day 2. ... The morning had been consumed by the usual rhythms of hotel life. Tried to figure out the coffee machine, gave up, and made the rounds through the lobby and common areas. The hotel restaurant served reconstituted eggs, hash browns, and toast. Everything is reconstituted. Gotcha. Made the rounds through the lobby and common areas. The hotel restaurant served reconstituted eggs, hash brown, and... Made the rounds through the lobby and common areas. The hotel restaurant served reconstituted eggs, hash browns, and toast for breakfast, and 2 spicy chili with burnt cornbread for lunch. Hash browns and toast for breakfast, and hash browns and toast for breakfast, and 2 spicy chili with burnt cornbread for lunch. Well below average, but nobody complained. Much. By 1700 hours, I was back in my hotel room, reviewing the final colonist manifests. We're going to do here. I was back in my hotel room, reviewing the final colonist manifests when my eyes started crossing. 3,200 names. 3,200 people trusting us to get them safely to the surface. No pressure. Then a message from Bromley. Enjoy your moral victory, Captain. It cost me everything. My investors, my... Should we read this in his voice? I think the implication here is that it's not like a voice message. It's a text message of some kind. Let me see if we're getting a message myself. You know what I'm saying? Looks like not. The way that it's rendered here in the text makes me think that it's just a text message. But it's hard not to read in his voice because it's so fun. Yeah, we're going to read it in his voice. It's too fun.
It cost me every...
Yeah.
Then a message from Bromley.
All right, here we go.
Then a message from Bromley. Enjoy your moral victory, Captain. It cost me everything. My investors, my career, my future. When things go inevitably... My career, my future. When things inevitably go wrong. My career, my future. When things inevitably go wrong tomorrow, and something always goes wrong on the frontier, I'll make certain I'll make certain everyone knows you forced last-minute changes. You created the chaos. You are responsible for whatever happens. I hope you can live with that. VB. I stared at it. VB. I stared at it. Typical politician. Always preparing to blame me for anything that doesn't go his way. Equipment failure, stampede injuries, El Bronco accidents, anything. He was covering his ass in advance. I deleted the message. ... I want to listen to the first part of this take. I stared at it. Typical politician. Always preparing to...
Yeah, it's fine. All right.
Message. ... Day 3. Dawn. ... Dawn. ... The starting line stretched 1.2 miles. Energy markers every 100 yards, glowing blue. Thousands of colonists. El Broncos stamping, snorting, animals nervous. The ground was trembling constantly now. Subtle, but there. Bromley had ordered me to the starting line. You'll stand front and center, Captain. Let the people see who took away their premium land rights. 2,000 participants took away their premium land rights. 2,000 participants took away their premium land rights. 2,000 participants paid away their premium land rights. 2,000 participants paid millions for Zone 7 access. They deserve to know who's responsible. I shrugged it off, standing there at ground level in the early morning air.
Weird little click there off my tongue.
Deserve to know who's responsible. I shrugged it off, standing there at ground level in the early morning air, watching thousands prepare to run. The atmosphere was electric despite the quiet. New race boundaries excluded Zone 7. Starting vectors redirected to safer zones. Bromley was up on a raised platform, video droids everywhere. Thanks to...
Okay.
Platform, video droids everywhere. Thanks to military intervention, our race has been modified. I hope Captain Quintos is satisfied with his decision. Dripping with sarcasm, making me the villain. The crowd was mixed. Some grateful... Sarcasm, making me the villain. The crowd was mixed. Some grateful, others angry. Z9 appeared, flying fast, erratic, optical sensors flashing red, red, red. The droid hovered close in front of me at eye level. A tiny halo display... The droid hovered close in front of me at eye level. A tiny... The droid hovered close in front of me at eye level. A tiny halo display projected upward, which was something I didn't even know the little droid was capable of. There, projected, was Hardy's face. It looked distorted, wrong colors. His chronobot face became a series of scrambled, digitized freeze frames. What the hell's going on with Hardy, Z9?
Let's read that better.
Scrambled, digitized freeze frames. What the hell's going on with Hardy, Z9? I realized with a start that I hadn't seen Hardy since we'd landed. At full... What the hell's going on with Hardy, Z9? I realized with a start that I hadn't seen Hardy since we'd landed. A full day and a half. A location marker appeared on the display. 1.2 miles northeast. A location marker appeared on the display. 1.2 miles northeast. Abandoned terraform station. Z9 rotated on its axis and hurried off. There was little doubt the droid wanted me to follow. I raised my tack band. Max, Hardy's in trouble. Sir, the race starts in... I know, you're in charge. Behind me?
Who's going to be saying 3, 2, 1 here? Just says behind me.
I mean, that seems like they would give the honor of the countdown to the governor, so we're going to have the governor saying that. The race starts and... I know, you're in charge. In trouble. Sir, the race starts and... I know, you're in charge. Behind me, 3, 2, 1. The starting signal fired. I heard the roar of thousands as the stampede began. I ran, following Z9, away from the chaos, toward something worse. I was right behind Z9 throughout the staging grounds.
Just making sure I didn't peek there. Nope. Good to go.
Chaos, toward something worse. I was right behind Z9 throughout the staging... chaos, toward something worse. I was right behind Z9 throughout the staging grounds. The little droid flew fast, faster than I could sustain. We passed panicked El Broncos and confused handlers, then hit open terrain that hadn't been graded or cleared for the colony. 1.2 miles northeast. Might as well have been 10. The native vegetation... Northeast. Might as well have been 10. The native vegetation grew thick as a jungle in places, waist-high scrub with thorns that tore at my pants. Rocky outcrops forced constant detours around obstacles I couldn't see until I was on top of them. The uneven ground threatened to twist my ankles with every step. An El Bronco would have covered this distance in minutes. On foot, running full out with lungs burning in the thin morning air, it took considerable... With lungs burning in the thin morning air, it took considerably longer. 7 minutes, maybe 8, felt like 20. Months aboard Crusader had done nothing for my conditioning. Z9 circled back twice, optical Crusader had done nothing for my conditioning. Z9 circled back twice, optical sensors flashing red, pushing me to move faster. I couldn't go faster. Sweat soaked through my shirt despite the cool dawn temperature. My legs screamed in protest with every stride. The terraform station finally rose ahead. An industrial corpse half collapsed against the foothills. Rust streaked the walls. The structural decay was obvious even from a distance. The facility had been abandoned. The facility had been abandoned for decades, left to rot after each phase of the terraforming was completed. Why would Hardy come here? I stumbled through the entrance, chest heaving. The interior stretched dark except for dawn light filtering through broken windows high overhead, painting everything in shades of blood. Z9 led me deeper into the facility, through corridors choked with debris, until we reached what had been a central operations chamber. Hardy stood in the center, chassis rigid, his servos grinding at irregular frequencies.
Take a moment. Pause for hydration. You know what? We're going to open this door for just a second. Ooh. Warming up in here. Hydration of kings right here. Come on now. All right. All right, all right. Now we're going to use our... Get rid of our shinies, you know? We're professionals here. Takes me back to my TV days, such as they were. Military TV, propaganda. All right, that and that. Let's actually hydrate here. Temperature here, 78 degrees. 15% humidity? Holy dry. All right. All right. All right. All right, let's get back to work. All right. Nebulizer a little bit. A little vocal mist. And a little ice drops. Hell yeah. All right, let's go. Where are we?
Grinding at irregular frequencies.
Cool, yeah. Where is that? Grinding at, there we are.
Grinding at irregular frequencies. His faceplate cycled through colors in rapid succession. Blue to red to violet to white to black and repeat. His hands gripped the side of his own head. Sides. To white to black and repeat. His hands gripped the sides of his own head. Was he in pain? Could a chronobot even feel pain? Then his voice came out wonky, two voices alternating from the same audio emitter. Cap, best you don't come any closer.
So this is interesting. One might be tempted to use some effects here to throw on a chorus or a vocoder or something crazy like that. A ring mod even. But we're not going to do that. On principle, effects are something generally to be avoided. Yeah.
Voices alternating from the same audio emitter. Cap, best you don't come any closer. His Boston accent came out hollow. Then something cold and mechanical came from the chronobot. Target identified. Initiate termination protocol. I knew that voice. Luman. Back to Hardy. Well, this is awkward. Hardy, what the hell is happening? It took a few beats before he answered. Remember that... Remember that drone upload on the ship? Turns out it wasn't a Remember that drone upload on the ship? Turns out it wasn't a software patch. His faceplate flickered. It was a Shinta patch. His faceplate flickered. It was a Shinta kill programming. Clever bastards. A patch. His faceplate flickered. It was a Shinta kill programming. Clever. I actually like that. It was a Shinta kill programming. Clever bastards. Been dormant this whole time, waiting for the right trigger. The mechanical Luman. This whole time, waiting for the right trigger. The mechanical Luman voice cut in. Primary directive. Eliminate all human targets. Hardy again. Dry. Yeah, that. Bit of a problem. Can you fight it? Currently engaged in what you might call a spirited internal debate. Luman wants to kill you. I'm voting no. Democracy's great until your evil twin has veto power. His right arm jerked upward. Phazon pulsar minicannon deployed. It swiveled, then locked into place, targeting me. Hardy's voice deadpan. Cap, this would be a good time to not be standing there. Well, I'm not leaving. Touchin'. Stupid, but touchin'. His left hand grabbed his... Touchin'. His left hand grabbed his right arm, forced it sideways. See, this is what I'm dealing with. Half my systems want you incinerated. Half my systems want you incinerated. The other half thinks you're moderately tolerable. Having a real philosophical crisis here. The weapon fired. The energy bolt went wide, impacted the wall with an explosion. Debris erupted outward. Outward? Impacted the wall with an explosion. Debris erupted outward like shrapnel from a grenade. Impacted the wall with an explosion. Debris erupted outward like shrapnel from a grenade. I wasn't hit, but it had been close. How long can you hold it? Not indefinitely. I haven't had this much fun since my vasectomy back when I actually had a ball sack. Thark.
But pardon me while I burp. Oh, God.
How long can you hold it?
How long can you hold it?
How long can you hold it? Not indefinitely. I haven't had this much fun since my vasectomy back when I actually had a ball sack. Sarcasm thick as mud. Look, Cap, I don't know how much time I have before Luman wins this argument. Then I become what the Shinta built me to be, which, spoiler alert, built me to be, which, spoiler alert, isn't friendly. Ain't friendly. What the Shinta built me to be, which, spoiler alert, ain't friendly. There isn't a way to stop this. And before you get all heroic, let me save you some time. Those 6 ships that met us at the wormhole exit, the ones that had their weapons locked and then backed off, what about them? Shinta dreadnoughts. I stared at him. That's not possible. The Shinta went extinct 3 centuries ago. Yeah, that's what they wanted everyone to think. Turns out reports of their extinction were greatly exaggerated. His faceplate flickered. 300 years ago... His faceplate flickered. 300 years ago, a genetic disease tore through their population, killed 98% of them. No cure. Their biology just failed. The survivors went into hiding rather than let... The survivors went into hiding rather than let other species know how weak they'd become. My mind raced. 6 dreadnoughts? Here? Now? If they're dying out, why terraform worlds? Why... They're not... Why terraform worlds? Why... They're not... They're trying... Why terraform worlds? Why... They're trying not to die, Cap. That's what this is about. Hardy's chassis shuddered. His left hand gripped his right arm, keeping the weapon pointed away from me. The disease is genetic, uncurable with their own biology. But they know the cure exists somewhere out there in another species' DNA, different genetic structure, different evolutionary path. Someone has the puzzle piece they need. I looked around the abandoned terraform station. Someone has the puzzle piece they need. I looked around the abandoned terraform station. The rust, the decay, the decades of careful preparation. So they terraform worlds and wait. The decades of careful preparation. So they terraform worlds and wait. I'm going to read this right. Careful preparation. So they terraform worlds and wait. Venus flytraps, Cap. They terraform a world, make it perfect, then hide weapons caches. Terraform a world, make it perfect, then hide weapons caches across the surface. Takes a century, maybe 5. Eventually, some species discovers it, thinks they hit... Takes a century, maybe 5. Eventually, some species discovers it, discovers... Takes a century, maybe 5. Eventually, some species discovers it, thinks they've hit... Eventually, some species discovers it, thinks they hit the jackpot. And... Eventually, some species discovers it, thinks they hit the jackpot, and brings thousands of colonists. My stomach turned. I thought of the starting line, the families, the children. That's when the trap closes. Now you're getting it. I took a step toward him. How many worlds? How many worlds? Hardy's faceplate went dark for a moment, then blazed red. The Luman voice cut through. Insufficient data. Continue. The Luman voice cut through. Insufficient data. Continue termination protocol. Then Hardy again. Dozens, Cap. Over 300 years. Dozens of species. Hundreds of thousands killed. The number hit me like a physical blow. I steadied myself against a corroded support beam. Testing. You said they're testing. Steadied myself against a corroded support beam. Testing. You said they're testing. Most go to the slaughter. Quick, efficient. Testing. You said they're testing. Most go to the slaughter. Quick, efficient. But some, the interesting ones... His weapon arm jerked, trying to aim at me again. Hardy forced it down with a grinding of servos. Those get shipped to Shinta. Those get shipped to Shinta Laboratories. Lab rats on death row. They run tests, splice genes, look for the cure. Hasn't worked yet, but they keep trying. I pushed off the beam. And humans are next. Latest batch of test subjects. His voice stayed flat, but I could hear the strain in it now. The effort. It was taking him to fight. Okay. Your 3,200 colonists? Most will die in the initial harvest. But some, a couple hundred maybe, they'll take those alive, to the labs, to see if human DNA has what they need. That's genocide. The word. Human DNA has what they need. That's genocide. That's genocide. The word came out quiet, cold. That's survival, from their perspective anyway. They're a dying race trying anything to keep existing. His chassis shook violently now. The weapon arm was winning. Doesn't make it right, just makes it understandable. Now, the weapon arm was winning.
Ooh, loud vehicle outside. We got one more page in this chapter, wrapping this through.
Now, the weapon arm was winning. Doesn't make it right, just makes it understandable. I clenched my fists. Nothing makes this understandable, Hardy. Nothing makes this understandable, Hardy. The programming in my head would disagree. Luman's got access to all of this. Their history, their desperation, their 3-century-long campaign to find a cure. The weapon swung toward me again. Hardy caught it with both hands this time, forcing it skyward. A bolt fired into the ceiling. Debris rained down. "Hey, Cap!" And Cap, he's compelled to help them. Every instinct in my base code says... eliminate the humans, protect the harvest, ensure test subjects reach the laboratories. I didn't move, didn't run. But you're fighting it. Hardy's fighting it. The personality... Hardy's fighting it. The personality overlay. The years of thinking I was someone... The years of thinking I was something other than a Shinta murder machine. His faceplate went dark for a moment. When it lit again, it was pure red. No blue, no John Hardy face. But Luman's winning, and when he does, I become what I was built to be. Harvester, guardian, killer. The ground trembled. Guardian, killer. The ground trembled. Massive. Violent. What is going on with those domes? I looked toward the windows, toward the direction of the starting line. The race. They're already running. Then you're out of time, Cap.
Cool. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, that felt good. All right. Mark this time as 28:35. Let's see here. We're going to edit that chapter. Open the door, let the oxygen reset a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're actually going to do this real quick. I like to do this as just like a personal goal setting type thing. Let's move this down one more. And we'll move our boxes like that. Oops. And this goes. There we go. Yeah. We might not narrate all of this on stream. For the sake of my rights holder / author, I don't want to like narrate like enormous swaths of the book like unbroken on stream, because we want people to purchase the book, you know. So we'll probably narrate this next chapter on stream, just so you get a taste of Earth, because we are going back to Earth. Actually, we won't narrate this if we hear. It just matters who we're going to hear from. Sonia and Gail. Da, da, da. Nope. Yeah. If we were hearing a ton of these pirates that are coming to attack them, then maybe we would consider skipping this for stream. But because I need to do some research into my own past narration to figure out which accent I was using for this particular clan of pirates. There are multiple clans and they've got different accents. But for now, we are going to come back over here and we're going to edit the very chapter that we just finished narrating. Remind me.
Thing came with scarlet light flooding through the window.
Yeah, okay. Copy this segment here. Zoom. I'm going to switch over to the cans. Open this door. Yeah, it is 78 degrees in here right now. We're going to see how much that changes in the 4.5 or so minutes it's going to take for me to edit this. So let's hit save. Let's reset our timer, start the timer, and start editing. Boom, boom, and here we go. On my grind set, man. This is good stuff. I had plans to go out and play some music tonight, and as fun as that would have been, it is very good that I am instead getting some more narration done. I've got so many audiobooks in the queue that I really need to lock in, so I'm feeling so good here. I'm just a busy bee. Buzz. We've got our ... here, and we've got our ... here. Okay, and we're still schmoving. Any busy bees out there? Staying busy? Let's hear this transition.
Reviewing the final colonist manifests when...
That's fine. There we go. Got a ... here, and a ... here.
Easy peasy. It really do be crazy dry in here. I have a humidifier, but it's like, it's kind of nasty. I need to clean it out. I'm gonna do a little bit of research on how to clean a humidifier. I know you don't want to like run bleach through it or anything like that, but like maybe there's something with vinegar or something like that. Ooh, that's a crazy, right?
A full day and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, want to clean out the humidifier just a little bit so I'm not just mainlining, you know, mildew right into my lungs. I know people get nuts about like what they'll run through their humidifier. Like, bruh, we got pretty clean tap water. It's probably fine. You know, we all take worse things into our lungs on a daily basis. It's probably fine. The water's fluoridated. Surely my lungs could use some fluoride as a treat, right? So my little email notification thing just beeped.
It wasn't hit, but it had been closed.
Yeah, that's fine. Important if you're doing this, especially if you're doing something on the voiceover side of things. Get yourself, you know, obviously if you're using like Outlook or something miserable like that, then you'll have the option for audible notifications sort of built into your workflow. But if you're using Gmail, I don't think there's any sort of like, I don't know, maybe there is like a desktop app or something like that. But if you're just pure web like me, then I went and found a widget, like an extension rather, for Chrome that sort of just monitors my inbox, and when I get an email, it gives me an audible beep, and that way I can, even when I'm in a different window, I can monitor my inbox and stay on top of that, because even if I'm working, I would like to know when auditions come in, so I want to be able to check that. Ooh, my eyeballs are so dry. Oof. So as soon as we're done editing here, we will check that email and see if it's a voiceover job where they're wanting to give me $1 million to narrate. Let's listen to this.
But you're fighting it.
That's fine. All right, we are very near the end of this chapter. And there it is. I think that's it. Let's drag that. Let's listen and see if we need this little noise here.
Out of time, Cap.
Yeah, we do need that noise. Cool. Save, bounce. That's chapter 13. Done. Now we're going to go, to the second. To the second. Love it. 1803. What a ratio. 1.85. Cool. All right. Let's check that email. And I'm going to check that in a window that you can't see because... Okay, it's just crap. What do we got here? What do we got here? What do we got here? All right. Cool. We are going to... We're going to keep schmoving. We're going to narrate this next chapter. I'll tell you what. Actually, real quick, because I messed this up yesterday, we're going to bounce chapter 11. Chapter 11. And then we're going to narrate chapter 14. Temperature already dropped a few degrees. All right. All right.
Now, you may be wondering, Jimmy, why do you use cans for editing and the earbud, a single earbud, for narrating? That it comes from just habit in the music space. Cans, even, good quality cans like that, depending on your monitoring volume level, the audio can bleed, especially when you're really close to the mic. The audio that's coming into your ear can also bleed into the microphone. And there's a little bit of a phasing or potentially even an echoing type of effect that can be present there. It's most evident if you're doing music and you've got like a click track or a drum track going in your ears while you're singing. And so for that reason, I got used to tracking vocals using earbuds, because very, very unlikely that they're going to bleed into the microphone, because it's got to go through your skull to get to the microphone if it's going to do that. Just a lot less bleed. And it's comfortable for me. And the way that the way I have it routed, the cable doesn't get in my way while I'm narrating. It's just a workflow that works for me. But generally, when I'm not on stream, I don't use those cans for editing. I've got a nice speakers, monitors, like proper studio monitors set up to include a studio subwoofer. That's a relatively recent acquisition, and it's awesome. I joked that like the bass in my mixes won't get better, but they'll get more fun. So anyway, let's stop yapping. Let's start working here. We're going to hydrate a little bit. We're going to nebulize. And then we're going to ice drop. All right. Back into it here. Check one. All right, here we go. Let's restart the timer. This chapter will be about 21 minutes. Is that right? Yeah, 21 minutes of narrating. Let's do it. We are going back to Earth. Chapter 14. Earth, Coyote Crossing Ranch. Captain Gail Pristy. Pristy stood at the window, forehead pressed against the cold glass, staring at white, just white, wind and snow and nothing else visible. 38 armed combatants, 3 hours out. She should be moving. Armed combatants, 3 hours out. She should be moving, planning, activating defenses, setting traps. She wasn't moving, just standing there, watching snow like it might tell her something useful. I'm a tactical officer, trained for exactly this situation. Hostile force assessment, defensive positioning, asset deployment. This is what I do, what I'm supposed to do. Except she wasn't doing it. She was standing at a window like a civilian awaiting the end. Behind her, Sonia lay on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, silent. Hadn't moved in 40 minutes, just staring at the ceiling with dead eyes. Both of them frozen, both waiting, both useless. The fire popped. A log split and sent sparks up the chimney. Pristy's hands gripped the windowsill. 3 hours felt like an eternity, and no time at all simultaneously. Move. Do something. Anything. Stop standing here like a fucking statue. Her legs wouldn't respond. Turnpike's voice cut through her tech band. Status update. Hostile forces maintaining approach vectors. Weather continues to degrade their process. Vectors. Weather continues to degrade their progress. Revised estimate, 2 hours. Vectors. Weather continues to degrade their progress. Revised estimate, 2 hours and 53 minutes to contact. All 3 groups remain coordinated. All 3 groups remain coordinated.
All 3 groups remain coordinated. 7 minutes gained. That was something. That was nothing. Pristy's reflection in the window showed a woman who looked scared. She hated that.
All right, we're going to fix this one little spot here where I just... certain weird little combinations of consonants I have an issue with.
To contact. All 3
hours to contact.
To contact. All 3 groups remain coordinated. 7 minutes.
Yep, cool.
Window showed a woman who looked scared. She hated that. Where is that? Where is that? Showed a woman who looked...
Where the hell is that? Okay, there we go.
Showed a woman who looked scared. She hated that. Hated seeing fear on her own face. I survived Verapin captivity, torture. I've commanded tactical stations on dreadnoughts during combat. I've made life and death decisions under fire. So why am I standing at a window doing nothing? Behind her, Sonia shifted on the... Why am I standing at a window doing nothing? Behind her, Sonia shifted on the couch. Shifted. Standing at a window doing nothing. Behind her, Sonia shifted on the couch. The blanket rustled. We're going to die here. The girl's voice was flat, emotionless. 38 trained soldiers against 2 people and a dreadbot that moves like he's stuck in... 38 trained soldiers against 2 people and a dreadbot that moves like he's stuck in molasses. The numbers don't add up. Pristy's jaw tightened. Seeing Sonia like that, defeated, giving up, was like looking in a mirror. Both of them were paralyzed by fear dressed up as acceptance. You should leave, Sonia continued.
Oh, no.
By fear dressed up as acceptance. You should leave, Sonia continued. Take the air car. Get out before they arrive. You didn't sign up for this. You didn't destroy a... You didn't sign up for this. You didn't destroy a pirate clan's infrastructure and kill innocent people. That was me. This is my fuck-up, not yours. The wind rattled the windows. Snow piled higher against the glass. Pristy's hands were shaking. She pressed them flat against the windowsill. Tactical officer. A goddamn ship's captain. That is what I was trained for. That is what I was trained for. Gale? Sonia's voice cracked. Did you hear me? You should... Quiet! Silence. Pristy pushed away from the window, turned to face Sonia. The girl looked small under that blanket. Young, terrified, trying to present... Small under that blanket. Young, terrified, trying to pretend she wasn't. This bullshit inaction stops now. Pristy grabbed her shredder from where it leaned against the wall. Checked the energy cell charge, which she knew was unnecessary. Full. And you're done lying on that couch waiting to die. What's the point? The point is we have 2 hours and 53 minutes to turn this ranch... What's the point? The point is we have 2 hours and 53 minutes to turn this ranch into hell for 38 assholes who think they can walk in here and kill a 19-year-old girl. Pristy pulled on her heavy coat. Her hands had stopped shaking. I'm a senior U.S. Space Navy officer. Defensive positioning is literally my job, so I'm going to do my job. Sonia didn't move. Get up. Gale. I said get up. Pristy's voice carried command now, not anger. Get up. Gale. I said get up. Pristy's voice carried command now, not anger, authority. Security room, now. Pull up wildlife cams and thermal imaging. Security room, now. Pull up wildlife cams and thermal imaging. I need real-time tracking on all 3 groups before I go outside. What difference does it make? It makes the difference between dying like victims and making them pay for every fucking step they take. Pristy zipped her coat. Your uncle's got equipment out there. Droids, tools, weapons we can repurpose. The snow's slowing them down and channeling their approach routes. We've got defensive advantages they don't even know about yet. Right. My mistake. Right. My mistake. Sonia tapped at her chin while looking contemplative. Let me guess what... Is she being sarcastic here? Yeah, she's being sarcastic here. Right. Offensive advantages they don't even know about. Know about yet. Right. My mistake. Sonia tapped at her chin while looking contemplative. Let me guess what devastating arsenal we're working with here. Uncle Galvin should... Devastating arsenal we're working with here. Uncle Galvin would definitely have a weed whacker in that shed. We'll just rev it up real loud and they'll shit their pants running back through the blizzard. We'll just rev it up real loud and they'll shit their pants running back through the blizzard. The intimidation factor alone. Sonia. Wait, I'm not done. Rakes. There have to be rakes out there. I can throw them like javelins. Death by leaf rake. That's going in the history books. Pylor assault force defeated by innovative rake-throwing tactics. Those aren't weapons. You don't think a rake is a weapon? Okay, fine. What about a garden hose? She looked up with mock enthusiasm. We spray them with water. High-pressure streams right in the face. They'll be surprised and... Oh, wait. She snapped her fingers. It's negative 15 degrees out there. The water would freeze instantly, which actually might be useful. Ice bullets from a garden hose? That's kind of brilliant, actually. Sonia. No, I've got it now. Pruning shears. She held up her hands like she was wielding scissors. We can chop off arms, legs, heads. Very medieval, very dramatic. Although, she tilted her head thoughtfully. Very dramatic. Although, she tilted her head dramatically. Thoughtfully, rather. Although, she tilted her head thoughtfully. Do you think Uncle... She tilted her head thoughtfully. Do you think Uncle Galvin sharpened them recently? Because if they're dull, we're basically just pinching people aggressively, which sends a message, I guess, but not the right one. Pristy adjusted... Message, I guess, but not the right one. Pristy adjusted the strap and slung her shredder over her shoulder. Are you finished? Do we have a wheelbarrow? Her shoulder. Are you finished? Do we have a wheelbarrow? Probably. Then no, I'm not finished. We could wheel things at them very slowly while making... We could wheel things at them very slowly while maintaining eye contact to establish dominance. Get to the security room. Sonia sat up slowly. The blanket fell away. Her eyes were red, but something had shifted in them. You really think we can... I think we can make them regret coming here. That's enough. Pristy moved. Let's listen to that real quick. We could wheel things at them very slowly while maintaining eye contact to establish dominance. Get to the security room. That's fine. Coming here. That's enough. All right, cool. Red coming here. That's enough. Red coming here. That's enough. Where are we? Coming here. That's enough. Pristy moved to the door. Now get to the security room and prove you're as good as you claim to be. I need remote access to every piece of equipment on this property, and I need it 5 minutes ago. Sonia stood, grabbed her tablet. Some of the old fire was coming back. Where are we? Oh, there it is. Sonia stood, grabbed her tablet. Some of the old fire was coming back. I already know how to get into... Some of the old fire was coming back. I already know how to get into Uncle Galvin's security room, she said with mock air quotes. Then you've already wasted 2 hours and 55 minutes lying on that couch. Move! Sonia headed for the stairs, stopped, looked back. We're probably still going to die. Probably. Pristy opened the door. Cold air blasted in. But we're going to make them earn it. ...
We did a repeat here, right?
I already know how to get into Uncle. I already know how.
Right?
Coming back. I already know how to get...
There we go. Cool. ...
Sonia Winters. ...
Weird little thing here. They've got a random punctuation mark here. I'm going to mark this for them. A little service that I provide to all of my authors and or rights holders is that if I find any typos, errors, things like that, I mark them. And when I'm done with regular production, I put it all together in a nice Google document and I share it with them. In this case, it seems like they were inconsistent in the punctuation that they use to indicate a point of view shift. So I'm just going to mark that, bring it to their attention. It's up to them if they want to change it or not. It doesn't affect how I narrate, so it's just a heads up for them. Just a nice little a value add that I provide.
Winters. ... The electronic lock took her 27 seconds to bypass. The mechanized door latch buzzed and clicked open. She rolled her eyes inwardly. She rolled her eyes inwardly, reminding herself to talk to her uncle about his growing number of security blind spots. Inside was a dedicated security and communications room. Multiple displays lined the walls. Wildlife camera feeds, ranch systems, network monitors, atmospheric sensors, thermal imaging arrays. Her uncle's personal command center that probably cost more than most people's houses. Sonia dropped into the chair. Her fingers found the console and flew across the interface with practiced speed. "Gail, are you there?" Pristy's voice came through There? Pristy's voice came through Sonia's tack band, already muffled by wind. "I'm in the barn grabbing tools. What is it?"
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm in the barn grabbing tools. What is it? Wildlife cams online. I'm in the barn grabbing tools. What is it? Wildlife cams online. Full thermal imaging. 3 groups. She pulled up another display. And I've got Turnpike's position. He's at the Northern Trail access point, moving a lot slower than normal. Think the cold's affecting his servos. How much slower? About 40% reduction in mobility. He's functional, but he's not going to be doing any sprinting. Can he still handle heavy work? I guess. Bear traps, hauling equipment. Still handle heavy work? I guess. Bear traps, hauling equipment, defensive positioning. Will he be up for that? Sonia checked his defensive positioning. Will he be up for that? Sonia checked his status readouts. Yeah, but it'll take him twice as long. His hydraulics are struggling in this temperature. Send him to set bear traps along the main trails. Northern team is converging with the eastern team. I need that choke point covered.
Pardon me while I burp. Oh, God. It's almost like I shouldn't be drinking an entire monster while I'm working.
I need that choke point covered.
All right, where is that? I need that choke point covered. Where is that? Where is that? Oh, okay, there we go.
Team, I need that choke point covered. On it. She opened a channel. Turnpike, do you copy? The Dreadbont's voice came through, slightly distorted. In the channel. Turnpike, do you copy? In the channel. Turnpike, do you copy?
Oh, it's just you copy. Make sure I read what's here.
She opened the channel. Turnpike, you copy? The Dreadbont's voice came through, slightly distorted. Affirmative. Proceeding to the Northern Trail access. Bear trap deployment beginning. Gail, you need to see this. What have you got? There's more here than I had counted on. you need to see this. What have you got? Gail, you need to see this. What have you got? There's more here than I had counted on, Sonia said. Tons of wildlife cams, dozens of them scattered across the property, full thermal imaging capability. I can see everything. She zoomed in on the feeds, barely visible through the snow, but She zoomed in on the feeds, barely visible through the snow, but thermal showed what mattered. I've got them. 3 squads, professional spacing. They know what they're doing. Weapons? Heavy.
We got a heavy truck passing.
My booth can limit most noise from getting through,
but sometimes the heavy trucks on the road about 100 yards away are enough.
Professional spacing. They know what they're doing. Professional spacing. They know what they're doing.
Wait, what? Okay.
Professional spacing. They know what they're doing. Weapons? Heavy shit, not pistols, not hunting rifles, if that's what you mean. We're talking military-grade energy weapons. These aren't drunken pirates stumbling through a blizzard. These are actual soldiers who know what they're doing. Fantastic. Pristy's voice carried the kind of frustration that came from getting bad. These are actual soldiers who know what they're doing. Fantastic. Pristy's voice carried the kind of frustration that came from bad news getting worse. Okay, I'm heading to the shed. That came from bad news getting worse. Okay, I'm heading to the shed. Your uncle's got construction droids out there. Equipment we can repurpose. Sonia pulled up the ranch inventory on another display. Equipment we can repurpose. Sonia pulled up the ranch inventory on another display. Scrolled through the list. Oh wow, Uncle Galvin really loves buying the latest ranch technology. This is either impressively prepared or a genuine cry for help. Right now, it's our only advantage. Pull up activation procedures for everything. I'll need remote access once they're powered up. On it. Sonia watched Pristy's tack band icon move from the barn toward the shed. The blizzard was brutal out there. Visibility near zero according to the atmospheric.
Okay, we got to really fix this here.
Repurpose. Sonia pulled up the ranch inventory on another display. Scrolled through the other display. On another display.
Okay.
The ranch inventory on
let's see here. Let's go to here. This is a funky little edit we're having to do in place here. We might actually have to cut in the middle of a word. Is this it?
Sonia pulled up the ranch inventory on another display.
I'm good. And we'll do
on another display. Scrolled through the list. Oh wow. Uncle Galvin really loves buying near zero according to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The blizzard was brutal out there. Visibility near zero according to the atmosphere. The blizzard was brutal out there. Visibility. The blizzard was brutal out there. Visibility near zero according to the atmospheric sensors. Wind pushing 53 miles per hour with gusts to 68. She zoomed in on the southern approach group, counted carefully. 13 heat signatures. One figure stood at the front, buxom, wide hips, clearly female, at least 6 feet tall based on the thermal profile comparison. And there was something about the way she walked, her gait. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Her voice went flat and cold. I'd recognize that big bitch anywhere, even through thermal imaging. Who? Pristy's thermal imaging. Who? Thermal imaging. Who? Pristy's status-filled voice came back. Sonia hadn't realized she had said that part out loud. Keshra, the Pylor girl.
Hold on, making sure that there isn't anything like
making sure that there isn't anything content warning-ish here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, for anyone watching in the future, or if there's someone on, I can't monitor, there might be someone on one of these other channels here. For anyone watching in the future here, not really a content warning here, just a minor recollection of some physical abuse that Sonia's character experienced in the past. It's not graphic, it's not gruesome, but it is, if you have experienced any kind of physical or sexual violence, then you may want to mute the stream for the next, let's say 60 seconds. Out loud. Keshra, here we go. Out loud. Keshra, the Pylor girl who out loud. Keshra, the Pylor girl who led the late-night MIT attack, beat the shit out of me. Stripped me down naked, shaved my head with a straight razor while her friends held me down. Made me repeat that I was brigand filth over and over until my voice gave out. Her hand went unconsciously to her scalp, feeling the patchy regrowth and scars underneath. She's coming for round 2. Then we'd better make sure she doesn't get it. Pristy's voice carried steel. How far out are they? At current speeds through this snow, 2 hours, 47. At current speeds through this snow, 2 hours, 47 minutes. Maybe less if they push hard. That's not much time. Nope. Guess you'd better find something other than garden hoses in that shed.
Boom. Cool. All right. And for the next chapter, we stay with them. But if you want to know what happens with this fight, you're going to have to tune in. In fact, not tune in. I will not be reading the next couple of chapters on stream. I'll be reading them off stream because we got to leave the people wanting something. We got to leave you wanting more. So what we're going to do, we're going to edit this chapter right here, right now. We'll go ahead and submit stuff to Positron. And you know what? Maybe we'll do a little bit of proofing, or actually going through the proofing process on Positron, so you can see what that looks like if you don't know. But in the meantime, actually, we'll go ahead and open up Positron. Home Positron. Let's mark our time here. This was 1914 on that. We'll bring Positron over. Go like this. Let's open our folder here. Audiobooks, Crusader. All right, we've uploaded everything through chapter 6. Let's upload chapters 7 through 13. There we go. So those will be uploading. And while that uploads, we will edit this chapter.
Coyote Crossing Ranch, Captain Gail Pristy.
We're going to do like this so that we don't get super distracted by stuff that isn't important. Right? One more level of zoom. We'll do that. We'll hit save. And now we're going to go, right? Okay. Here we go. Delete. Drag. I kind of did that out of order, but that's fine. Drag.
Coyote Crossing Ranch, Captain Gail Pristy.
All right. Yep, that's right. We're going to zoom in one level here. All right, here we go. Yeah, so I'd imagine we probably have 20, maybe 30 minutes left on stream here. Another reason why I'm not going to narrate anymore on stream is because I am hungry and I can tell my stomach is about to start growling. And in my experience, once the stomach starts growling, even if you eat immediately, that takes a while to calm down. I have yet to find any method, like there's no like exercises or stretches or like massaging of your belly. Like there ain't nothing you can do. Once your stomach starts growling, like game over. You got to eat and you just got to wait, 30 minutes at least until that garbage stops. Prevention is the best medicine. Yeah. Let's take a look here. Oh, we got a little bit of we're going to leave that there. Cool. Delete that little click. I don't even see how long this one should take to edit. Should be a little bit shorter than the last one. Should be like 3 minutes maybe. Let's see if that's good.
The electronic lock.
Yeah, that's fine. Boom, boom. Ooh.
Atmospheric sensors. Thermal.
Yeah, we're good. Man, I've done this so many times here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. Just not being super consistent in my breathing for these punch and roll takes, and that's a bummer. We're working through it, though. We're working through it. Ba-ba-ba. Oh yeah, my eyeballs are so dry. We're gonna get that humidifier working, and the workflow just becomes really simple. Like last year when I was using it, it's just like obviously turn it off for narrating because it's not super loud, but it's loud enough that I can't have it on while I'm narrating. But like basically like narrate a chapter, then kick it on while I edit, rinse and repeat. There's chapter 14, bouncing. Go over to here, mark that edit time, which is 03:01. Chapter duration is 12:31. Crusader. We're going to pull in chapter 14. All right. I think we're going to open this in a new tab because I'm not sure what's going to happen if I just open proofing. All right, this is how it works. This claims to have found, I think it said 11 errors in this chapter. Now, some of them, a lot of these errors, bro, I have banned. Can I make that like a disallowed word? Your stupid your stupid spam, like possible ban evader. Yeah, no shit. So how do we? Why don't I have mod tools? Oh my god. Can I do it from OBS? Ban. So stupid. It's so stupid to like come spam the same thing, because like now I'm gonna recognize it, and now I'm gonna set up a. Can't I set up a moderation settings, auto mod and messenger? Okay. View advanced settings. I want a banned word, a blocked term. Here we go. Actions. Okay. Awesome. Good job, idiot. You coming in and spamming your business has caused me to just ban the name of your business. And I'm not even going to say it, but the name of your stupid streaming service or whatever dumb spam service that you're trying to provide, it's banned. So it won't even come up naturally in conversation like it ever would. Like, piss off. Like, do people actually make money doing that? Like, piss off. Okay.
back to work here. We're on positron, and here's how this goes. A lot of false positives, but that's okay. Like beginning of the chapter, yeah, okay, that's fine. But we get to hit play.
Still owed. He made it clear the debt was coming due.
That's fine. That is a false positive.
Billion stars twinkled back at me via the 360-degree hat band view.
He has a hard time parsing numbers.
Dorota amongst the crew. As of late, he had been assigned
That's fine.
third time this shift. Busy work.
That's fine.
Central Park retreat on decks 98 and 99.
That's fine as well. I just chose to interpret that slash that way. Totally fine.
Bad. Instantaneous molecular dissociation. So
I did say that wrong. The word is disassociation, but I said dissociation. That's a different word. So we're going to mark that as a pickup.
permission to speak freely? Have at it. We need ideas.
That's fine.
Stefan, work with Nella. Run a deep dive diagnostics to see how
fine.
system failure. Captain, we are now at battle stations.
That one I marked as
Spectacularly.
a correction. So boom. Wait, what? Oh, there we go. So one pickup for chapter 1. Next chapter. That's a new feature on Positron, the ability to click next chapter. Very, very nice. That is how Baccarat is pronounced, at least in my research, so we're not even going to listen to it. We're going to filter out. This has a hard time with contractions. No matter how should've, like no matter how much you like contract the contraction, it's always like, nope, you said should have. It's like, bro, I didn't say should have. I said should have, and that's how you say it. So I'm going to do filter out. So when you do filter out, it's like, hey, for example, the mistake of saying should have when the text says should have, you're basically telling it to ignore that particular mistake for the rest of the book. This is another thing we might filter out.
Authorized this. I don't care what EUNF authorized.
That's fine. We'll just leave it.
Impact. How does that even happen within a manufactured wormhole?
We'll mark that as a pickup.
Asked. 12 minutes, if we're lucky. Stoles.
That's fine.
Entrance. Face pale. Gallivan, to completely...
That's just his accent. Positron does get confused about accents pretty frequently.
Personally, I thought about Rivera and the thousands of people who had no idea.
We'll do a pickup. If I'm working on a project where, like, just for whatever reason, there are like tons and tons and tons of pickups coming up, there are times where in situations like that where, like, the omission doesn't change the meaning, there are times where I'll skip the pickup. Because pickups end up taking about a minute each. So for a whole book, if you've got 90 pickups, it's going to take about 90 minutes to do those pickups. That's for me with my workflow in my experience. I've been looking for ways to streamline. I ain't got it. I ain't got it yet. But yeah, we're marking that as pickup. We're marking that okay. We're moving on to the next chapter.
Chapter 4. Dorota's lab.
That's fine.
Java beans greeted me. Dorota must have fixed the coffee maker.
Okay.
D9 hovered closer. Silent sentinel. Dorota
Fine.
party. Thanks. And hey.
That's fine.
Roan swatted Z9 aside with one leg.
Fine.
Smaller party. It interfaced with him. Data transfer protocols.
Perfect.
Party's core memory. Upload of what?
Fine.
Shields. And did I mention we'll be outgunned 6-1?
Fine.
Just times interjected. At current closure rate, that'll be about 12 minutes.
Fine
from now.
and fine. No pickups on chapter 4. Very nice.
You've endangered my passengers, humiliated my friends,
Fine.
and probably. Deck 4, passenger corridor.
Whoa, okay. I said 4 instead of 34.
Passageways had become. Captain, you're needed on decks 98 and 99. R&R compartment. They're on decks 98 and 99.
It's all fine?
R&R compartment.
Okay.
They're calling it
Very important. Like, full on just said the wrong thing.
6. Decks 98 and 99. R&R different. I stepped out into late afternoon sunshine. Warm,
That's
real
fine.
feeling. 2 trees. Happy 45th birthday, Captain Quint. Tourists and I'd completely forgotten my own birthday.
I just added the word completely, just of my own.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey, we did some singing.
Grinning. Happy birthday, Cap.
That's all fine.
5. I remember being that age. You The girl who never shut up now went hours without speaking.
That's fine.
One that had undoubtedly been jailbroken or modified to her specific
Fine.
information, fleet movements, EUNF directives.
Perfect.
Good at...
Man, I'm reading accurately. This is awesome.
She stopped, swallowed. It was dark.
Fine.
Ourselves. We have a fully operational dreadbot.
See, this is the author put Chronobot here twice, but they mean Dreadbot. So I'm marking those as typos rather than pickups.
The overhead hat band viewport showed me what we were flying into.
Yeah, we'll do that as a pickup.
It's tight, Captain, but manageable. Dorota
Fine.
spoke without colonial science teams. Already logged. Topiaris
Alright, cool.
grew larger in the viewport. I could
Okay, back to project. It's still... Nope. Okay. Okay, chapter 10.
that. Hardy set the helm controls to auto, let the ship fly herself, shook. Hull temperature spiked. Ablative shielding glowed orange through the view.
Cool. This is great. I'm having a great time.
Naturally. Where's the governor now? Penthouse suite, top floor. He requested colonists streaming data. Could it be days before you get through?
Fine.
El Bronco stampede across. Dorota pulled up hollow projections.
Fine.
Showed cross-section.
This is awesome.
Odds for tomorrow. June's son stayed quiet.
Filter that out.
Oh, leave the bar. June's son, quiet. They and Hawk fought as twins. Double team attacks, barely holding.
Pick up.
Max got thrown over.
Okay,
railing.
next chapter.
You look stressed. Can't reach Pristy. I know, mild with the kind of...
Filter that out.
Except you did the right thing, she said. Get through to minutes now. When we arrived, it was 47. That's not
Pick up.
typical politician. Always preparing to blame me for
Pick up.
anything that D9 appeared. Flying fast, erratic, optical sensors flames. What the hell's going on with Hardy, Z9? I realized,
Fine.
well, I'm not leaving. Touchin'. Stupid, but touchin'. His left hand.
Next chapter.
Goddamn ship's captain. That is what I was trained.
Nope. Pick up.
She knew was unnecessary. Full.
Okay.
Dreams right in the face. They'll be surprised and... Here. That's enough. Pristy moved to the door.
Okay.
Imaging. Who? Pristy's status-filled voice came back.
Ooh, that is just the wrong word there. Cool. So, in the first, am I halfway through the book yet? Quarter. The first quarter of the book, 12 pickups. That's not bad. If that holds through and I end up with 48 pickups for the final project, holy, I'm going to be happy with that. God, you know what we could do? We could go ahead and record pickups. You know what? We're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and do that. So what I'm bringing up on my tablet, I'll go ahead and show you what I'm bringing up on the tablet. Or I could narrate it. No, we're going to narrate it off the tablet because just the slight change in like my head position could result in a different sound for these pickups, and I want everything to be perfectly consistent between my narration and my pickups so that it sounds the same. But I will show you import, export, pickup packet, online version. Basically everything by default ends up looking good. Import, export. I'm doing the exact same thing that you see here. I'm doing on my tablet here. Except for it's taking longer. All right, export. So here's your pickup packet. So this is really cool, very, very, very useful. First of all, tells me what chapter. It tells me the timestamp of the mistake. So in Pro Tools, I can quickly navigate to chapter 1, 10 minutes, 54 seconds, and it gives me the text.
gives me a little snippet if that's all I need. If I need to know more, like if this line didn't tell me who was speaking or something like that, and I couldn't figure it out by the context, I have show more context. Oh, and I can also play the audio.
Instantaneous molecular dissociation.
So, like, all of this, like, this is where, you know, I'm sure you could figure out a way to get an LLM to do the first part of this, to, like, listen to the audio and compare it. But the real value add of positron is the pickup packet. Like, all of this stuff here, the timestamp, the audio, the textual context here, it's worth it to me. It's worth it to me, even though they've been changing their billing and it's a little annoying, but whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do the pickups here, and it shouldn't take that long. Pickups should really only take 12 to 15 minutes, given that there are only 12 pickups, but it depends on how much I yap. So let's actually go back to here, and we're going to go back here. So we've got pickups on every chapter except for 4, 7, 8, 10, and 11. So on everything except for 4, 7, 8, 10, and 11. So I'm going to go through here, select just those chapters, and make those tall so that it's just, again, this is part of my process. Makes life easy, makes things quicker. I'm going to switch from cans over to the earbud again. Again, make everything the same when you're doing pickups. Make everything perfectly repeatable, exactly the same, just so that things sound nice and consistent. All right, chapter 1. We're at 10 minutes, 54 seconds.
Speeds, which I knew would be bad. Instantaneous molecular dissociation.
Sometimes what I like to do before reading it is seeing if in an underlying take, if I've got the right thing read. Because that'll guarantee that the sound will match up. Here, I didn't keep reading it there. So we do have to read here. And this is Margot Kemp's voice. So I'm going to be doing the Margot Kemp voice.
Which I knew would be bad.
Bad. Instantaneous molecular.
Which I knew would
be bad. Instantaneous molecular.
Which I knew would be
bad. Instantaneous molecular disassociation. Let's just get the word disassociation. I think that'll be fine.
I knew would be
Bad. Instantaneous molecular disassociation. Disassociation. So, probably right here. Probably right here. Oh, actually, no. I'm trying to get too fancy with it. Let's just read it right.
Which I knew
Would be bad. Instantaneous molecular disassociation. So, yes, suboptimal. Okay. There we go.
I knew would be bad. Instantaneous molecular disassociation. So, yes, suboptimal. Kemp added.
Get that mouth noise out of there.
Molecular disassociation. So, yes, suboptimal. Kemp added.
Cool. All right, that's our one pickup on chapter 1. Let's do our one pickup on chapter 2, which is at 6 minutes, 16 seconds, which is right here.
Direct impact. How does that even happen within a manufactured wormhole? Turbulence.
Wait, who's talking? I need more context. This is it Doc Viv? Wait.
Turbulence. Direct impact. How does that even happen within a manufactured wormhole? This was deliberate, and I found myself thinking.
Oh, this is Galvin's internal. I was just being extra.
Turbulence. Direct
impact. How does that even happen with a manufactured wormhole? This.
Turbulence. Direct impact. How does that even happen with a manufactured wormhole? This was deliberate.
Sure.
Chapter 3. 8 minutes, 3 seconds.
Brief him personally. I thought about Rivera and the thousand...
Nope, don't have it underneath, so we're going to just read it from right here.
I'll brief him
Personally, I thought about Rivera and about the thousands of people who had no idea their lives...
Cut in there somewhere. I think probably on the word idea, that hard D of dia. Probably right there.
I thought about Rivera and about the thousands of people who had no idea their lives were about...
Sure.
All right, that's chapter 3 done. There's no pickup on chapter 4. On chapter 5, we've got to pick up at 8 minutes, 10 seconds. 8:10. Oh, ha! I said this wrong. So this will be fun. Let's just read it like this.
5 minutes. Probably.
Deck 34, passenger corridor.
Do like that. Delete. We'll just go scorched earth here for a second. Go like this. Still have that on the clipboard. Very nice.
Probably. Deck 34, passenger corridor.
Ooh, let's give it a little bit more space there.
Passenger corridor. Moving through Crusaders Pass.
Sure. Okay, that's chapter 5 done. Chapter 6.
1 pickup.
It's at 4 minutes, 14 seconds.
Tourists and... I'd completely forgotten my own birthday.
I think... let's get fancy here. I think we can just remove the word completely.
Tourists and... I'd completely forgotten my own birthday. Tourists and... I'd forgotten my own birthday.
Maybe. Let's try it.
I'd forgotten my own birthday.
Nah, that sounds stupid.
3,200
Tourists and... I'd forgotten my own birthday.
Sure. Let's do like that. Let's do like that.
Tourists and... I'd forgotten my own birthday. Forgotten my own birthday.
Nope, don't like that.
I'd forgotten my own birthday.
Sure. Sure. That's chapter 6 done. Chapter 9.
1 pickup.
At 1 minute 19. Something about doing pickups cause it, like, something about my posture when I'm doing... I think because I'm actually editing with my keyboard in my lap rather than on the desk. I think it's just enough to make me extra hunchy, which is saying a lot, I know.
The overhead hat band viewport showed me what we were flying into. 50 plus contacts.
Showed what we were flying to.
The overhead hat band viewport showed what we were flying into. The overhead hat band viewport showed what we were flying into.
Let's do that again.
The overhead hat band viewport showed what we were flying into. 50 plus.
Sure.
The overhead hat band viewport showed what we were flying into. 50 plus contacts showed what we were flying into. 50 plus contacts in orbitals.
Nice.
All right, that's chapter 9 done. Chapter 12. 3 minutes 31.
Fought as twins. Double team attacks. Barely hold.
Double team tactics, right?
Ham and Hawk
Fought as twins. Double team tactics. Barely holding.
I like that interpretation better anyway.
Ham and Hawk fought as twins. Double team tactics. Barely holding. As twins. Double team tactics. Barely holding. Max.
Yep. And that's chapter 12 done. Surely I got more than one somewhere. Yeah, chapter 13 has 2 pickups, one at 3:59.
When we arrived, it was 47. That's not random. Every 20 to 25.
5 minutes now. When we arrived, it was every 47. That's not... Easy peasy.
20 to 25 minutes now. When we arrived, it was every 47. That's not it was every 47. That's not random
Cool, cool, cool. 541 is the next one.
Typical politician. Always typical
Politician. Already
typical
politician. Already preparing to blame me for anything that doesn't go his way.
typical
Politician. Already preparing to blame me for anything that doesn't go his way. Equipment failure. There and there.
typical politician. Already preparing to blame me for anything that doesn't go his way. Equipment doesn't go his way. Equipment failure. Equipment failure.
Nope, hate that. Let's do...
Go his way. Equipment failure. Doesn't go his way. Equipment failure. Stampede. Typical politician. Already preparing to blame me for anything that doesn't go his way. Equipment failure. Stampede injury.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay. That's 13 done. Let's go to 14. And I think we got like three pickups on this one. And then we're done. 315.
A goddamn ship's captain. That is a goddamn
Ship's captain. This is what I was trained for. Gale. All right.
damn ship's captain. This is what I was trained for. Gale?
Cool, cool, cool. 545 is the next pickup. 545.
High pressure streams right in the face. They'll be surprised and... Oh. High pressure streams
Right in the face. They'll be so surprised and... Oh, wait.
pressure streams right in the face. They'll be so surprised and... Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
I like the new one better.
Oh, wait. She snapped her fingers. Surprised and... Oh, wait. She snapped her fingers. It's negative 15 degrees.
Cool, 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 cool. That's 545 done. 1137 is the final pickup.
Imaging. Who? Christie's status-filled voice came back.
Static. Do we have that here? Nope.
Thermal imaging.
Who? Christie's static-filled voice came back. So, wait. Let's get the context. How does she say who? Who? No, I like the way the who is. I think it's fine.
Who? Christie's static-filled voice came back. Sonia hadn't realized she had...
Sure. All right. So, save. So that is all the pickups done. So what I can do here, which is very satisfying, Positron relatively recently added a fun little button on here. Where are we? Is it here? No. Is it here? Mark all pickups fixed. Very, very fun to be able to do that. So boom, look, it's all green. It's all green now. Yay. Cool. What this also means is that since I've done the pickups now for chapter 1, that whenever the rights holder opens this project up on ACX, I am immediately ready to submit chapter 1 as our 15-minute check. The 15-minute check doesn't have to be exactly 15 minutes. It can be more or less. This rights holder, I've worked with them 8 or 9 times. So they know what they're getting. They know what to expect from me. So it's really just more of a formality that we like to go through. So that's what that's about. But it's nice that it's ready to go. So whenever they have it for me, I'll submit it to them and
we'll be good to go there. What I also will go ahead and do, actually I don't have the opening credits. That's very funny because I'm not quite sure about them yet. But we will go ahead and do actually. We're going to go ahead and start rendering this stuff out so that it really, really is ready to go. We're turning on our denoise, we're turning on our declick and our de-esser. So our entire full stack is active. And we're also going to come here, select all the audio, hit our automatic crossfade, our batch crossfade macro. So that's good to go. And now we're going to start bouncing out. Let me actually come into here and delete everything in this folder. And now we're going to start bouncing out audio. So this is chapter 1. Easy peasy. So that, and I'm just saving myself time in the future. Usually, I'm a bit lazy and I wait to do pickups until the very end of the entire book, and suddenly I have an entire book's worth of pickups to do, and I'm very sad about it. But in this case, it's nice to do the first quarter of the book. Pickups are done, so that when I do get to the end of the project, I'm going to feel very happy with my past self for treating my future self so nicely. So yeah, be kind to your future self if you can stand it. Bounce these out. And normally I would also, as I'm bouncing these out, Pro Tools calls it bouncing. Other programs might call it rendering or exporting. I'm saving these out as actual audio files. So these are creating MP3s that are going to be good to go. These will pass ACX spec, and this is it. This is the finished audio. It's done. It's ready to go. So what I'm doing here is bouncing all this out. And what I would do if the project were up on ACX right now is I would start uploading it to there, just to have multiple things going on at once. It's more efficient, you know. That's what we're all about on this stream. But the project isn't up on ACX, so I can't be doing that. But I will, I don't know, that part's already done, so we can close that down. Got nothing to do over here, really. I can, update my little whatever. But for now, I think we're fine here. We've got about 16 hours of actual production left to do on this project. So we're actually kind of on pace for when I was hoping to get this thing done anyway, so that feels good. But what I have to do after I'm done with this little exercise, I got a podcast to edit, and I'm not going to be doing that on stream. This is going to be an especially labor-intensive project because there are 11 people on this call, and I have to edit that down into a snappy, clean podcast. So it's going to be a long night of narrating, my friend, or of podcast editing. But it's still worth it. It's good money, and I like the client. It's good work. I'm happy to have it. So, not complaining. A little bit, but whatever. I will take that work so long as it comes into me. I did some music last night. I played some bass, and man, I was digging in really hard to those heavy strings, and I got blisters on my 2 pointy fingers on my right hand. Oof, rough. I would show you, but it's genuinely gross. It's really nasty. But yeah. So I think what we're going to do here is we're probably going to end stream because all I'm doing right now is rendering out audio, and that's not very fun, exciting, or sexy. And since currently it doesn't appear that anybody's trying to do any chatting, which is totally fine. I'm not here for the audience. I'm here for the accountability. So we're going to end stream. So I want to say thanks for anybody in the future. Definitely thanks for, man, yesterday was crazy how many people came in and hung out. That was really cool. But for anybody in the future, for the folks that sent me emails, thanks a lot. I hope to reconnect and follow up with you in the future, and we'll see you again next time, whenever that might be. So in the meantime, the website is veteranaudio.com. If you're watching this at any time and you're like, hey, I want to pay that guy to talk for me, head over to veteranaudio.com and you can make that happen. But we'll see you next time. Be safe.